University. Many people often describe it as some of the most exciting but also formative years of a young person's life, and I couldn't agree more. At the same time, it's also quite a daunting and confusing experience. It's really hard to figure out what exactly you should be doing during those 3 to 4 years whilst you're on campus. Now, with that being said, in today's video, I wanted to give my top tips for anyone who's still at university, whether you're just joining or you've been there for a year or two already. As a reminder, I graduated last year from the London School of Economics with a first class honours in BSc Economics. So these are effectively the things that I would do if I were to do university again. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so point number 1, get out of that A-level mindset. At A-level, if you're focused on getting into a really competitive university, as I was, it's very likely that you spent the majority of your free time probably studying and trying to make sure that your grades were up to scratch. I myself, I did have extracurriculars. I was head boy of my school, I played basketball on the side, but for the most part, a lot of my free time was spent studying and working towards getting those A stars and A's. Now, university is a completely different ballgame. Yes, you are working towards a degree and you will be given a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but studying is not the only thing that you should be focusing on whilst you're at university. In my opinion, if you go to university and all you do is study, you're doing university wrong. Uni is a place where there are so many new experiences that are made available to you, whether that's new societies, meeting people from all different walks of life, or just exploring the new city that you've probably just joined. Taking the time to do all these small little things can have a real big impact on you and your mindset. You can leave university as a completely different person with a whole new mentality, having learnt so much more than just the studies that you were taught in your lecture. Number 2, have fun and relax. Let me tell you this, unless you become a billionaire and become financially free, never in your life will you have the same degree of freedom as university provides. It's a place where you can quite literally wake up at midday on any day of the week and suffer from no consequences, and it'd be considered normal for you to go out and party on a random Tuesday or Wednesday night. Now, my advice here would be to just make the most of it and live life to the fullest. I remember in my first and second year of university, actually feeling bad about, having dropped the productive routine or lifestyle that I had whilst I was still at secondary school. And in my third year, actually looking forward to getting this back, waking up early and just grinding out work. Now, in hindsight, I would take that all back and just really enjoy this period in time where you have no time constraints really. The last thing you want to do is to graduate from university, enter the world of work, and then have a bunch of regrets about having not done university right and wishing that you'd spent the time just enjoying yourself. Number 3, reach out to more people. As I said before, one of the things that I'd really encourage you to do whilst you're at university is to just speak and socialise and network with more people on campus. As I say, there are loads of people from all different walks of life and they're bound to have different viewpoints or bits of information that you may not have necessarily known beforehand. At university, and especially at a place like LSE, there are so many interesting and clever people all around you who've probably got so many different life experiences and bits and pieces of information that you probably didn't know beforehand. There's a saying that your network is your net worth, and I found that to be completely true. I think it's very easy to fall into the trap of establishing quite a close-knit group of friends and then failing or closing yourself off to others. Don't make that mistake. Even though you have a good friendship group, or you might have a good friendship group, make sure to reach out to other people and just keep trying to branch out your network and speak to different people, even if it's just whilst you're in the queue or if they sit next to you in class. Honestly, reflecting back on my time at LSE, I'm starting to wonder, just how many conversations I missed out on just by not taking the initiative to approach someone or talk to them, how many lessons I could have learned, or how many, future connections that would be beneficial for my life that I might have missed out on. But hey, the past is the past and I want to move forward. So in conclusion, take the time to speak to the people around you, whether that's at an event, whether it's in class, or whether you just see them around campus. You never know where that connection could take you in the future. Number 4, develop new skills. Now, whilst I mentioned in point 2 to enjoy your time and just relax and have fun at university, I also think it's important to just carve out a bit of time to work on yourself and your personal development and future-proof yourself for your future career. Now, that could be things like working on skills that would make you more attractive to a future employer, or if you're more entrepreneurial, working on the systems or learning more about how to start up a business, for example. Now, a few examples of this could be learning to code, or learning how to build a model in Excel, or learning how to market a product. All of these could be useful to you if you're interested in both a job or if you want to be an entrepreneur in the future. So this is actually something that I think I did well. In my first and second year of university, I spent a few days a week working at a fintech startup in London. And by spending time with the co-founders, I learned a lot about their careers and they gave me advice. Both of them were ex-investment bankers, so I learned about the skills that I would need to succeed there. But also by looking at how they built up a business from scratch themselves, I picked up so many skills that I might be able to implement in my own business going forward. You could and should also spend time working on your wider personal development outside of your career. For example, that could be things like, working out regularly, or, taking the time to exercise, or maybe it's something like meditating and journaling. If you can incorporate these habits whilst you're at university, it's so much more likely that you'll carry them on into the long term once you've started working. And now my fifth and final point would be to experiment with big picture projects. Now, I started this YouTube channel as well as my wider Assure education and career consulting business in my third and final year of university. And while I'm super glad that I started it at university and before I started work, I wish I'd bitten the bullet a bit earlier and started off earlier in my time at university. And if I'd done so, I would have had more time to spend and dedicate towards growing this channel and the business. And who knows, maybe I'd be further down the line in this business today. But I guess we'll never know. My point is if you have an initiative or an idea that you've been thinking about starting, university is the perfect time to do it. Whether it's a business, a blog, a YouTube channel, or anything else, at university you have the time and you have very limited downside from trialing or experimenting with any of these sorts of things. And I would personally go wild with it. Launch multiple things if you have lots of ideas in your head. Because even if something doesn't go to plan, you'll learn so much just from the experience of trying it out. And because you're so young, with relatively little to lose, both financially and in terms of time, I'm sure that you won't regret spending your time working on any of these projects. Now, that concludes today's video. I hope you found these bits of advice and guidance useful, and maybe you can incorporate it into your mindset or mentality going into university this year. If you found the video useful, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends if you think they might find it useful as well. And if you're interested in educational or career consulting, whether that's things about getting into university or if you want to get help in learning how to get into your dream job, reach out to assureuk@gmail.com or visit my website assure.uk. Thanks guys, and see you soon.